This is C-17 Globemaster III US News. The McDonnell Douglas / Boeing C-17 Globemaster III is a large military transport aircraft that was developed for the United States Air Force, USAF, from the 1980s to the early 1990s by McDonnell Douglas. The C-17 carries forward the name of two previous piston-engined military cargo aircraft, the Douglas C-74 Globemaster and the Douglas C-124 Globemaster II. The C-17 is based upon the YC-15, a smaller prototype airlifter designed during the 1970s. It was designed to replace the Lockheed C-141 Starlifter and also fulfill some of the duties of the Lockheed C-5 Galaxy. Compared to the YC-15, the redesigned airlifter differed in having swept wings, increased size, and more powerful engines. Development was protracted by a series of design issues, causing the company to incur a loss of nearly $1.5 billion on the program's development phase. On September 15, 1991, roughly 1 year behind schedule, the first C-17 performed its maiden flight. The C-17 formally entered USAF service on January 17, 1995. Boeing, which merged with McDonnell Douglas in 1997, continued to manufacture the C-17 for almost 2 decades. The final C-17 was completed at the Long Beach, California plant and flown on November 29. In the 1970s, the U.S. Air Force began looking for a replacement for its Lockheed C-130 Hercules tactical cargo aircraft. The Advanced Medium STOL Transport (AMST) competition was held, with Boeing proposing the YC-14 and McDonnell Douglas proposing the YC-15. Though both entrants exceeded specified requirements, the AMST competition was canceled before a winner was selected. The USAF started the CX program in November 1979 to develop a larger AMST with longer range to augment its strategic airlift. By 1980, the USAF had a large fleet of aging C-141 Starlifter cargo aircraft. Compounding matters, increased strategic airlift capabilities was needed to fulfill its rapid deployment airlift requirements. The USAF set mission requirements and released a request for proposals (RFP) for CX in October 1980. McDonnell Douglas chose to develop a new aircraft based on the YC-15. Boeing bid an enlarged 3-engine version of its AMST YC-14. Lockheed submitted both a C-5-based design and an enlarged C-141 design. On August 28, 1981, McDonnell Douglas was chosen to build its proposal, then designated C-17. Compared to the YC-15, the new aircraft differed in having swept wings, increased size, and more powerful engines. This would allow it to perform the work done by the C-141 and to fulfill some of the duties of the Lockheed C-5 Galaxy, freeing the C-5 fleet for outsized cargo. The C-17 Globemaster III is a strategic transport aircraft, able to airlift cargo close to a battle area. The size and weight of U.S. mechanized firepower and equipment have grown in recent decades from increased air mobility requirements, particularly for large or heavy non-palletized outsized cargo. It has a length of 174 feet, 53 meters, and a wingspan of 169 feet 10 inches, 51.77 m, and uses about 8% composite materials, mostly in secondary structure and control surfaces. The C-17 is powered by four Pratt & Whitney F117PW100 turbofan engines, which are based on the commercial Pratt & Whitney PW2040 used on the Boeing 757. Each engine is rated at 40,400 lbf, 180 knots, of thrust. The engine's thrust reversers direct engine exhaust air upwards and forward, reducing the chances of foreign object damage by ingestion of runway debris, and providing enough reverse thrust to back up the aircraft while taxiing. The thrust reversers can also be used in flight at idle reverse for added drag in maximum rate descents. In vortex surfing tests performed by two C-17s, up to 10% fuel savings were reported. The Royal Australian Air Force, RAAF, began investigating an acquisition of strategic transport aircraft in 2005. In late 2005, the then Minister for Defense Robert Hill stated that such aircraft were being considered due to the limited availability of strategic airlift aircraft from partner nations and air freight companies. The C-17 was considered to be favored over the A400M as it was a proven aircraft and in production. One major RAAF requirement was the ability to airlift the Army's M1 Abrams tanks. Another requirement was immediate delivery. Though unstated, commonality with the USAF and the RAF was also considered advantageous. RAAF aircraft were ordered directly from the USAF production run and are identical to American C-17s even in paint scheme, the only difference being the national markings, allowing deliveries to commence within 9 months of commitment to the program.